Was doping a conversation you were aware of in the bunch when you went over initially?
When I went over initially, like in the early years when I was on basically in 95, 96, I was basically on a domestic team that would kind of, jump over the pond and jump in a few races. I'd read, this is way before the internet. So I'd read about doping, a little bit in a magazine in the United States called Velo News. Every once in a while, there'd be a small little blurb, usually in the back of the magazine, but maybe something that happened, but usually not very frequently. Every once in a while you read about it. But the kind of going on the word of the street, I guess, in the States was like, there wasn't doping in the States, but there was possibly doping at the highest level of the sport over in Europe. But, I didn't know. I mean, there was kind of rumor about that, but I didn't know. I was young and green and wide-eyed. And did I notice a difference going from the United States racing in the U.S. to racing in Europe? Absolutely.
From the outside looking in, the US Postal, it looked a lot of fun. It looked like this sort of low-budget team of American kids who didn't really know what they were doing that much, going over to Europe, breaking all the rules and mixing it up. Like, what was it? You're the bad news bears. What was the culture like inside the team?
You asked about how we were treated. Definitely, I wouldn't say we were like welcomed with like open arms. The bunch definitely gave us some grief, and a little bit of that. I get maybe a little bit of bullying, for sure. We were an unproven team, and we had all sorts of strange equipment too, and that they like to have fun with that. Yeah. But yeah, I think we proved them wrong, over time. Yeah. But I do remember, I think Ekimov took the lead in the prologue or something. I think it was like a race that they used to have called the Mini Libre. I believe it was that stage race. And he had the lead, and we were defending the lead in the early stages and the flatter stages. And I remember the group kind of having fun with us, giving us some just some jabbing. But yeah, it's all part of it.
But what was the culture like inside Postal? Like, was it good fun on the team bus? Was there a good laugh? Was it a good group to be around?
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of fun. I don't know. Yeah, we had guys like George. We had guys like Frankie Andreo, who's like the older statesman. We had, Lance. We had young guys like Christian Vanderveld. And then we had the European guys, and we had early on Adriano Baffi. He was just a well-respected rider back in, what was that, 1997. Yeah, he'd done a lot of big things. He'd won tour stages, I think, before that. So to have him on our team was huge. Having Ekimov on our team was huge. I remember watching him in the tour, like it was called the Tour de Trump. It eventually turned into the Tour de Pont, which raced on the eastern seaboard of the United States. I remember watching him when I was in high school, going down to Boston to watch the final stage and seeing guys like Ekimov, Greg LeMond, who else? Like Bobby Julich. Yeah. When I was just a kid.
It's like a golden era for US cycling.
Those were some good years. Yeah, we had some good talent. We have a lot of good talent now. Tons of good talent now. Yeah. I'd say maybe even better.
What's a big kind of buzz in corporate culture, and I know you're moving into the corporate world at the moment, everything's about culture. What influence does one person have on culture? Like when you look at Armstrong's approach to training, nutrition, competition, is that something that sets the tone culturally for the rest of the team to follow?
Yeah, for sure. He was super focused. He knew what he wanted. He was driven, beyond belief. I thought I trained really hard until I started training with him. What year was that? I started training with him a lot in like the year 2000. Yeah, a lot. And that's when I realized, I hadn't been training hard enough in the years before. Yeah, very, very disciplined. Yeah, hard. That was one of the hardest years of my life, probably in the year 2000. Yeah, outside of Nice, France, riding in those hills. North of Nice is up, down all day long. Yeah.
Can you remember when you first
became... It was fun. Yeah, I learned a lot. Yeah.
Can you remember when you first became aware of doping inside the team?
That was in 1997.
And were you shocked?
Yeah.
Or what was your reaction to it?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised, but then I also over the years had heard those rumors. So yeah, was I shocked that it was on my team? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I was. And then I think the first time I kind of realized it was, or started to kind of maybe scratch my head, was in, that you'd finish a race and then riders would be heading to the airport and heading home, before the next time they'd kind of get together with a team. Then certain riders on the team were getting handed like little, like kind of like a white little like lunch bag. Yeah, I didn't know what was in them, but kind of made me scratch my head. Well, what are they getting here? And why wasn't I getting one?